Hey, and welcome on in to Daily Cards Live here on October 4th. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob Ramsey, and we are presented each and every day by Mungenast, St. Louis Acura, and Royal Banks of Missouri. And now, all postseason long, sponsored by the Alton Sports Tap, the best wings in all of Madison County, and your spot to watch each and every Cardinal game, all postseason long. And they will stream your local high school football game each and every Friday out there at Alton Sports Tap. Rammer, will if the cards go deep enough, we will make a trip out there for one of these shows and get you some of those wings, or we'll see if Danny has the pot pie going that day too.
And I'll have both.
Here we are, Rammer. Hey, at one point this season, it seemed like we were never going to talk about this. But we are talking about a Cardinal postseason berth. We knew it last week that it was a sure thing. We now know who the opponent is. No game 163, no one game playoffs, no chaos that we thought we were going to get
and
on the final. On the final day of the season. It's going to be plain and simple. Max Scherzer, Adam Wainwright, and a whole lot of storylines around this series, around this one game series, this one game wild card, which is going to be played Wednesday nights.
Yeah, it feels weird that there are no games at all today when the scenario set up that we could have had multiple games Monday and Tuesday. And it looked even partway into gameplay yesterday that was going to occur. And then the odds you were going to have at least one game played on Monday and then none. But it made for an exciting Sunday, and it made for eyeballs on Major League Baseball the very last day of the regular season, which is what MLB wants. And we're baseball nerds, so we're going to watch it anyway. And it kind of worked out. The Cardinals, as they came to the finish line of the regular season, Joe, they, you and I talked a little bit about grousing about lineups and things like that from some fans. And I think had the Cardinals played it absolutely straight, they probably could have won a couple of more games in the last week. But as we pointed out, it didn't matter. Only matters for the skipper and the players to try and do the best to get his team most rested / most ready for Wednesday and Max Scherzer. And that's all it's about right now.
The second the Brewers swept the Mets, that's when Mike Schilt knew he could take the foot off the brake. That's when you knew that the 17-game winning streak was not going to end at 22. That's when you kind of came to the realization that, okay, this team's going to finish second in the wild card. Let's get everybody right. So that's why you saw yesterday. I had a friend send me the lineup yesterday morning going, what is Mike Schilt doing? I go, what do you mean? I go, Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado are going to get one at bat and they're going to be pulled from the game.
Exactly.
That's what's going to. This is a week one spring training lineup. What you're seeing right now, none of those guys are going to end the game in the lineup. Just calm down. And then, sure enough, you see Yadier Molina playing first base at the end of the game. Rammer, let me ask you this: how much did Yadi beg to play short or third in that game yesterday when Schilt was said if you're going out there, you're going to first, and Yadi said, fine, better believe I'm going to pitch a game next year.
Oh, that's funny. And probably right. He probably was lobbying for that pretty hard. One note I wanted to make, I think it was from Saturday night's game. One of the things that gives me hope, not only for the Cardinals on Wednesday and the rest of October, but gives me hope for the game of baseball, the entirety of the game of baseball. 2 at-bats in, I think it was the 6th inning, where both Tyler O'Neill and Dylan Carlson beat the shift on purpose. O'Neill, everybody hard to pull, hit one hard on the ground to the right side. Carlson hitting left-handed with everyone on the Cubs pulling or on the right side to pull, and he just, with that sweet swing, just flipped it out to left field. I even tweeted about the commissioner. You don't need rules. You need players playing smart.
Yes.
And the Cardinals did that. And if they'll continue to do that, then things bode well. Now, you can try and do everything you want the right way against Scherzer, and it might not work out. But I think the Cardinals' best hope Wednesday and throughout October is right here, right between the ears. If they play smart and don't get home run happy and do the right things on the right counts, that's their best chance to win.
And there's so much to go through over these next, and you mentioned there's no games tonight. We don't have a game till Wednesday to really worry about. Tomorrow we'll watch the Red Sox and Yankees add another chapter to their historic rivalry. But one thing that I think is very important, I know you and Keith talked about it briefly this morning, the Keith Costas podcast, available now wherever you get your podcasts, and you can go back and look at the archives on Twitter on Rammer and Claves' account and watch the show as well. But the Dodgers are not healthy going into this game. They have lost Clayton Kershaw probably for the year. Clayton Kershaw is on, end of the season on the injured list. Albert Pujols was on the injured list. He's now going to be off the injured list for the postseason game because yesterday Max Muncy went out after a collision at first base. Dave Roberts said he will not be available for the wild card game. And if they win the wild card game, he would not be available for the NLDS either. So that kind of tells you how extended of an injury that's going to be. Meanwhile, the Cardinals, Jack Flaherty might be your first bullet out of the bullpen come Wednesday night. So
I saw somewhere today, MLB, or maybe it was ESPN, one of them a writer talking about the usage of starters as relievers in postseason and went through 3 or 4 guys that would be right for that, and they missed on Flaherty. That would be the guy, I think.
Yeah, and not only him, I think you also have to wonder how Dakota Hudson's going to be used too, because we already know TJ McFarland has turned into a double play machine. Yeah, Dakota Hudson's sinker ball will play in the postseason. Yeah, so you have 2 guys throwing really heavy baseballs from each side of the mound. So the Cardinals are going to be set up for that game. And I like this. I saw this stat. Brian Hoffman tweeted this out the other day, that in the games where Tyler O'Neill, Harrison Bader, and Dylan Carlson were all in the starting outfield, the Cardinals' winning percentage was .651. .651. They're all going to be healthy on Wednesday nights.
They'll all be healthy and ready to go. And it doesn't really pay to have conversation on this Monday about the next round and how the pitching would set up. It'll be Wainwright, and I presume everybody except Lester ready to go. That's my guess.
And on the other side, Walker Buehler yesterday started for the Dodgers in a game where they had to win if they wanted to force a 163. And as soon as the Giants went up 9-1 in their game, Buehler was in the 5th inning at 79 pitches. Out. Pulled him right away. No need for that. So he had 79 pitches. His next bullpen day would be on Wednesday. So Walker Buehler, you imagine, is going to be the first guy out of the bullpen for Dave Roberts and that Dodgers Dodgers team.
You think him instead of Arias? Don't you think Buehler sets up for game 1 of the next round?
You got to get past this game if you want game. That's what you got to get past this game if you want game 1. Urias pitched what on Saturday, right? I think, all of them. Yeah. I think everybody has to be ready to go. So I don't know if you could say one or the other, but I do feel like they pulled him in the 5th inning when they did, knowing, hey, you're going to be sitting out in that bullpen on Wednesday night.
I suppose. I think I would probably take my game 1 of the next round starter, and certainly he might be available if you need him, but I don't think he'd be my first choice to come into the game.
So we will have more on this series tomorrow. I will be out in Los Angeles with Mike Claiborne tomorrow and also Wednesday. So plenty to talk about when that time rolls around. I know you and Keith went over some of the other games on the postseason bracket this week. The one I just absolutely love, and I think all Cardinal fans should be paying a lot of attention to, is that White Sox-Houston series, because it wasn't until you and Keith talked about it earlier today, it completely just went right over my head that it's another Tony La Russa versus Dusty Baker showdown.
I love those guys, 2 of the best that have ever managed, and I want them to be yelling across the diamond at each other and pointing fingers. That'd be awesome.
I want fireworks. Absolutely. I want fireworks in that game. So plenty of postseason coverage coming your way right here on Claibs Online all week long, hopefully all month long, as the Cardinals go for another long journey into the month of October. Rammer, before we head on out, and I got double shirts today, so we'll spend some time on that. But a quick word from Royal Banks.
Royal Banks of Missouri, you know, everybody's excited about October and moving forward. You should also get excited about what Royal Banks can do for you when you're talking about achieving your financial goals, whether it's something small like getting a new checking account that pays you, or all the way up to a mortgage or a refi. Royal Banks is there for you. And it's easy to get on board. Call one of the terrific bankers at Royal Banks at 314-212-1500, or of course, go online to royalbanksofmo.com. Royal Banks, where better service means better banking. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Ramber, I'm going to take all the bells and whistles off the screen here, because not only am I going with the Mike Shannon T-shirt that was given out this weekend. Yeah, 50 years as they've renamed the broadcast booth, the Mike Shannon broadcast booth that KMOX will be calling games from here till the end of time. Very fitting for 50 years in that broadcast booth. But I also felt too, Rammer, since I am headed out to the West Coast bright and early tomorrow morning, I should put on the nice Hawaiian Cardinal T-shirt, or
not a great look.
Button-up shirt. Thank you.
Not a great look.
And wear this for the show today. Before I probably have to look a little more professional the next 2 days.
Well, that might not be a bad idea.
If I'm there with Claibs too, I mean, he's going to expect it.
Yeah, you won't be able to equal him or surpass him, but just try and up your game a little.
I have a few shirts that might give him a run for it, but we'll see.
Okay.
Is that a Bench Mafia shirt you got?
Bench Mafia. So trying to get a little extra mojo going.
Yeah, we did see this week. Speaking of the current Bench Mafia, we saw Matt Carpenter very well could have taken his last swings for the Cardinals. I would imagine. I saw on Twitter somebody say that they feel that Matt Carpenter is a Cardinal Hall of Famer. What do you think?
I don't think so. No.
I think there's an argument. I mean, he you know what? 10 years with the organization, a few pretty cool moments, and one heck of a MVP run one year that he just fell short of. It's he'll, you know what? Years from now, he'll be in the discussion and fans will be voting on him.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So, but hey, you know what? How about one more big moment to maybe state his case? This either Wednesday or next week. That'd be nice too.
Get me a game winner off Kenley Jansen, and maybe you'll convince me.
Okay, we'll see what we can do with that. Hey, this has been Daily Cards Live here on Claibs Online, presented by Mungenast, St. Louis Acura, and Royal Banks of Missouri. And hey, all postseason coverage brought to you by the Alton Sports Tap in Alton, Illinois, all month long. Everything baseball, Cardinal related that we do, brought to you by the fine folks there at the Alton Sports Tap. That's going to do it for us today, right here on Daily Cards Live on ClaibsOnline.com.